Okay, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Uh, in here, I already got the two file. The first one is the OS ISO, and the second one is the software itself, the Raspberry Pi Imager. The top one is Raspberry Pi OS image system. And but in the Google Drive is the format apa namanya is in zip, so you must extract first, and because it's in the zip is less apa namanya less the file size, so it's more easy to download. And then you can just download it, right click and then press download, and then it will show and download. It will start download, and I will download both of them. Is same, right click and then choose the download bar. And after that, in here I got micro SD. The size is I think is it's very it's blurry, but I think it's 8 gig, and there is a what is it, card reader. And here you can see that there is a slot for the micro SD. And then yeah, so it's like that. So you can plug the SD card adapter or anything else, but in here I'm using the micro SD. So yeah, so next I already have the downloaded file. There's two of them. Because it's in the zip, I must extract it first. It will result from 1 GB of file compress. Yeah, it will decompress, and then the result is the Raspberry Pi OS image file. The format is already in ISO, but the size will be larger than the compressed one. It become 3.8 GB, almost 3.9. Okay, so here we are waiting the extracting process. And then after done, we install the application file, the .exe file for the application. That is the Raspberry Pi imager. And then just click install as usually, like a standard installation process. Just press install and then finish. And I immediately run the Raspberry Pi imager, so I leave it the checkbox check. Then in here I already I haven't already apa namanya put the SD card micro SD to my laptop, and then apa namanya as the previous video, when I insert the micro SD to SD card adapter to USB, and I plug it, and then it will read. USB mass storage device USB. So it means the application will only detect the external drive because our internal is not detected. The reason is because when we are want to write the OS file into the storage, it means we must format it first. We must erase all of the data. So it prevent our system to be formatted. So it just read the external device. So in here for the operating system, I'm using custom because I downloaded it. In the previous one, there is a lot of menu. In there, you download it from internet, straight from this application. Then we must use custom because we already have the file. And then look for the location of the file is in the document and some. Then select for the img file. The zip is actually can listen format, but it's a little bit slow, so I prefer img. And here the micro SD card is will be format if we continue the process. So when you have the micro SD is in use for your maybe Android phone or wherever it is for the camera, make sure you back up the data already because the data will be format. Okay, in here just ignore the Windows Explorer notification, just wait for the process to be finished. And then it took a long, so I just skip it. Maybe it took a long time, so I skip it in here. It's very long. You can skip it the video until the skip one because there is two process, writing and verifying the data. In here I'm skip, and then the writing process is almost completed, and then it will verify, and then I will skip. So finalizing. And then just there is a pop-out windows. Just click continue. You can remove the SD card. It's fine. You can remove it first and then click continue, or you can click continue first and then remove. It took no effect. So yeah. So in here, in the operating system in the Windows is already done. Now in here, the Raspberry Pi port itself and the micro SD. Now I'm explaining the function of the port itself, like the USB port, and then there is the RG45 port, Ethernet port, LAN cable for the LAN cable for the internet, and then there is audio jack using 3.5 millimeter, and then there is HDMI display port, and then there is the USB micro P for the power supply, and then the pin itself is the GPIO of the Raspberry Pi, In the Raspberry Pi, there is already built-in Wi-Fi, so when you don't have the Ethernet cable, don't be afraid, you can use the Wi-Fi. And then for the micro SD, the arrangement is like that. The micro SD slot. That is the micro SD that I already burned. I already installed and then plug in, click, so it's like that. So we just have to connect the Raspberry Pi with the rest of the tools like mouse, keyboard, and then the HDMI. And then for the power, we are using 5 volt for the power itself, and then using USB to micro B. Now in here, if your monitor doesn't have the HDMI connector, you just have to use the converter from VGA to HDMI. In my case, my monitor is in the my monitor is VGA port, so you must convert it to HDMI. So here is the look of the rebooting of the Raspberry Pi. You can see it's rebooting. Okay, so in here, in the first one it will automatically log in, but in the second one you must log in. So in here, this one is the first time look. It will show pop up the windows like this. Welcome to Raspberry Pi. It only happened once time when you fresh install the operating system. Okay, just click next, and then in here you set your country, your language, and your time zone. Because right now I'm in Indonesia, I just search for Indonesia. The language is Indonesia, and then the time zone apa? Yeah, of course in Jakarta. And I'm prefer using US keyboard. US keyboard is the apa namanya? The layout like the standard QWERTY, like our keyboard that we are using right now. And then setting the location and the time. While waiting, you can see the right top. There's a warning sign, low voltage warning. Is fine, but it better you are using the good power supply with the good ampere usually. Okay, and then this one is the change password. If you are leave it blank, the default username is PNI for the user account, and the password, the default will Raspberry. When you leave it the new password blank. Okay, you can see. Now here I'm changing my password, my default password to QWERTY, and then confirm new password is same, you must same. Now for the setup screen, if your desktop you connected to monitor, right? If your monitor show up some black border, you must apa ya, tick the box below. If you are not, then it's fine. So in here, I'm already connected to LAN cable, so I don't have to connect it to Wi-Fi. I just skip. Now, and then for the update, because it will took a long time, I just press skip because it will need a large download and it will took a time. Then the setup is done. Okay, that is for the experiment one. Now in here, the programming and the application is like that. The UI of the Raspberry Pi OS uh, is a little bit different, like because this one is the different OS, but there is some same familiar, like the start, and then there is a file manager like that, and then this one, the specialized of the Raspberry Pi OS, the terminal itself. The terminal will looks like that. Pi at Raspberry Pi. Okay, in the first one, we must type sudo raspi config, and then choose the advanced system, and then I'm wrong, so I go back, and then I'm selecting the advanced option, and then choose the expand file system. It will use this one is already done. It will ask for the reboot when it finish. The purpose is to using of the micro SD storage. So we will reboot now. Okay, because I'm choosing the ground tree is in Indonesia, so it will say tempat sampah. It means trash or waste basket. Okay, now for the test of the third experiment is to install the Arduino IDE. First, you must connect the internet, yeah, because we want to install it from the internet, from the Arduino server. So you must have the connection. You can use Wi-Fi or the LAN cable. The first one, I type sudo apt get update and sudo apt get upgrade. That means I will execute both of the line, both of the code. It means, and there is an n in there, and symbol twice. It means the left script and the right script will be executed together. Not together, but after sudo apt get upgrade, it will automatically run the sudo apt get upgrade. And then it will checking the package that will be update and upgrade. Now we must type yes and then press enter. Now you can see it will working, it will download, and I just skip because it took a very long time. That one is downloading and installing. Then when the P Raspberry Pi is appear, the green text P at Raspberry Pi is appear, it means the line of code is already done. So it means we go to the next code is sudo apt get install Arduino. When we strict install from the source code, the source application here, the source database, and then if you want to continue, select yes, and then it's very fast. We just download the Arduino. So it means we can close the terminal and then see in the start menu, and in the programming there is Arduino IDE. Then when we open up, it have the UI, the user interface of the Arduino, same as the Windows. Then you can see there is some file, edit, sketch, tool, and help. In here I will select the in here I'm already done with my configuration. There is the Raspberry Pi with the peripheral like USB, power, HDMI, and the internet cable. And then you can see in the Arduino the serial is different, not COM but like that, like in the tool. Now you can see I'm connected the Arduino to Raspberry Pi board because the Raspberry Pi is now act like a personal computer, so you can plug and play the USB device like a mouse, keyboard, and Arduino itself. You can use the USB webcam or USB headphone, it's up to you. And in here the purpose is we want to read the potential reading. That is the power of the power supply. We are using the micro P cable. Now we just connected like the usual. In the left and the right pin of the potential is 5V and ground, 5V or ground, yeah. And then the middle pin is in the analog 0. Okay, in here I'm using the basic script. In the first one, I must make the voice setup and then using serial begin with baud rate 9600. Okay, and then using for loop, I'm printing the analog read of the ATC rating of the potential using the initialization of the variable using value equal to analog read A0. It means the pin that we connected to the data of the potential, the signal of the potential, and then we print in the serial monitor. Now in here, in the serial, now it's different. In the Linux, in the Raspberry Pi, there is dev TTC. Not kan in the Windows we are using COM here. In here, the name is not COM, but like that. And then just press upload. as usual, as like the Windows, Arduino IDE in the Windows, and then just wait for the compiling sketch to be done, and then the uploading process to be done. And then after uploading, okay, in here I'm just re-upload, yeah, because maybe it will the rate will be so very fast, the video will not keep up with the refresh rate. Then it's like that, the value 410, and then when I scroll and when I rotate it will change. So it's same and it's working like Arduino in Windows. It's just a simple implementation using the Raspberry Pi. It can use the GPIO itself to read the input and output some data. But in here, just a simple implementation for programming the Arduino IDE in Raspberry Pi OS. And the next module, we are discussing the